So I started thinking about the show when I started thinking about what my next show would be, and I always like to use the space to do something sort of big, and I don't have that kind of space on a regular basis, to make a large piece. So I don't know why, but it felt really important to make this work, and I started thinking about it. And initially, the dresses were more general, just about guns and gun violence, and but it just got really angry. It sounded really angry when I was thinking about the original piece, and I thought, that's just not what I'm going for here. You never change somebody's mind by coming at them, like that. So I decided, and actually kind of late, really only a few months ago, to make each gown specific to a mass shooting instead of go with my original idea. So, and then just a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I had the idea to have girls model these gowns the night of the reception. So I thought it would be powerful to have young women sort of at the beginning of their lives standing on pedestals wearing the gowns. Wow. So that they became the work of art. I started really in earnest researching the shootings last fall and Googling, one morning I spent 3 hours Googling different shootings and weapons that were used, and it was super depressing. And I walked away that day wondering if I had the stomach to do this project. And then I thought more about it, and I thought, there's a lot of people that don't have, I've held this at arm's length for a long time, and there's a lot of people that don't have that luxury to just walk away and not think about it. And aren't I lucky? So the least I can do is walk straight through this project and keep a stiff upper lip and try and make work that's powerful and instigates conversation. So that's what I did. This was the first gown I worked on, and of all, we went to visit my son's friend at Michigan Tech last fall, and we made Valerie do a campus visit, and she was like, I don't want to go to Michigan Tech, and I want to be a fashion designer. And I said, well, somebody's got to design for North Face, so why don't you go and see what? So the way to get her to like Houghton Hancock was to find good thrift stores. So we found some good thrift stores, and of all the places, I would never guess that UP would have these amazing evening gowns. So they had this huge section of evening gowns, and I just bought a carload, and so brought them back. And then, like I said, the idea was really early then, and some of the gowns became evident they were too bridesmaidy, and I wanted something that was more like a party dress, And it was important to me too that the gowns had all lived a little, they'd been somewhere fun, and so anyway, these are the pieces. And as you guys know, I love to make handbags. I have a vintage handbag collection, and so I just love to design those and then use the laser cutter to cut the parts. And I started doing drawings of guns. And scanning those into the computer and using those to etch the drawings back into the plexiglass or the laser cutter. And you'd think I could standardize the construction of them a little more, but every time I make one, it's like the first time again. So it just depends on what materials I'm using. It's boring to always use the same materials. So I'll use gold lame for something, and then I'll use vinyl for something else, and rubber, and each material has its own specific needs of how it needs to be handled. So it comes out being a little different, but I am getting better at figuring out the right stitches to use, and I find that bookbinding stitches come in really handy for some of the construction of the purses. So to get the guns on the gowns, I would project the image on there, and then I would pin the gown to this one door at my house, and I would draw it on with either a fabric marker or a fabric marker is something that disappears overnight. So once you get that drawing on there, you better get out to the sewing machine and start sewing, because it's going to go away. And then, like on the dark dresses, I used I found that what worked best was like a gray or white colored pencil, and or even some white charcoal. But I got better as I got more familiar with the guns. I didn't have to add as much details when I first projected them on there. So I would project them, sort of sew an outline, and then just use the photo as a reference to sort of draw in where I wanted to go and sew the next bit of detail. And So using my sewing machine as a drawing tool was a really interesting experience. And let's see, so you guys have probably read the tags, but I decided to do an art statement. And I really struggled so much with that. I know we all do, but I struggled so much with not making it preachy, but making it, I don't know, heartfelt and not too heartfelt. I don't know, you know, it was just a tough balance. And so I decided in the end to do a statement more sort of about my process, and then to do mini statements about each dress, and to title each dress in a way that referenced that specific shooting, and then just give the bare bones facts, you know. And so Cindy from across the way came over yesterday, but she and her employer were looking in the window when I was finishing up over here, and I said, "Oh, come on in." And she said, "What?" They looked at the gowns first, and then they came in. They're like, "Wow, those are guns on there." I said, "Yeah." So I started explaining the idea, and she's like, "I just got chills." And so the conversations I have with people about it are really huge, you know. For instance, in my studio, a neighbor came over, neighbor's daughter, who's been a modelist, when I was over about a week ago, and she said, "How's the project going?" You know, she knew all about it, and she's 14. And so I started talking to her about it, and she said, "Well, can I bring my mom in?" So pretty soon her mom came in, and then everybody else came in. There was a few families over, so 2 families were packed in my studio, and I was so self-conscious because there's like kids in the room, right? They're anywhere from, I think she was a 5th grader, maybe the younger brother was there who's like a 3rd grader. So they're all standing there, and I'm like explaining this. It just seems so wrong to be talking about this, but these kids know this is going on, right? And so they ask good questions, and I think they have to know that they can talk about this. It's a big scary thing, you know, and so they have to be able to talk about it. And as I'm explaining this one, which is called Big Guns, Little People, it's about Newtown, and the mom of the little girl who'd come in is a grade school teacher. You know, so you guys have probably had conversations with friends who are grade school teachers, or any teacher, who have been through these new drills that the teachers have to be, what the hell, you're supposed to be teaching little kids, not, you know. So reading more details about these was super disturbing. And you know, I see myself continuing to work on this as a project, but it's you gotta be in the right sort of mood to look up the information. And you know, any questions?
Are we being recorded? Why don't you stop and show?